Hello, guys, or ladies, I should say. My name is Victor, and I'm going to be studying this book with you, Provision English Communication. We're on page 6. This is the chapter, lesson 1, The Freedom to Be Yourself. This is a big Disney movies always say, be yourself, just be yourself. The freedom to be yourself. Okay. I noticed our family was different from other families when I was a little girl. We weren't following other people's standards. My mother was a classical viola player in an orchestra. She had a hard time because in Japan back then, it was unusual for a woman to have her own career. She would often come home late from a concert, and my little sister and I would be waiting for her alone. Our family was a constant worry for the neighbors, who would often criticize my mother for leaving us at home. However, my mother was firm in the belief that you should lead a fulfilling life by doing the work you love, because you only live once. You should believe in yourself without depending on someone else. I observed my mother putting that philosophy into action. I too wanted to live each day to the fullest. I began to feel out of place at school when I was in junior high school. I was not interested in Japanese pop idol music, which was popular in my class. I had loved reading foreign literature ever since I was a child, but none of my classmates shared my passion. I secretly dreamed of going somewhere where there were people like me who didn't conform. I also had ambitions of becoming a painter. When I was 14, my mother suggested that I travel alone to Europe. She sensed the confusion in my soul and thought that I could learn more from a solo trip abroad than from going to school in Japan. She inspired me to go out of my own little world and travel in different worlds with different values. And so I spent a month journeying alone through Germany and France. I visited musicians who were my mother's old friends and stayed with them. My European adventure was a turning point in my life. One day during the trip, I was at a railway station. I noticed that an old man had been doggedly following me. Terrified, I jumped onto the train in an attempt to get away, but he was still chasing me. "Wait, young lady," he shouted. He had mistaken me for a runaway and was worried about me. That was my first encounter with my Italian friend, Marco. We kept writing to each other after I returned to Japan. When I was in high school, I was worried about what to do after graduation. Marco made a suggestion. If you're still interested in becoming a painter, why don't you come to my country, Italy, the home of the arts? You can immerse yourself in its culture and history. You're still young. Try to enrich your precious time. While it was a difficult decision for me, my mother strongly encouraged me to go. It's a great opportunity. Grab it, she said. What you do with your own life is up to you, I realized. Marco was a ceramic artist and always lived to the fullest. Spending time with him in Italy, I was impressed by his free way of living. There have always been people in my life, like my mother and Marco, who knew their own minds and lived on their own terms. When I was studying in Italy, I met people who differed in their ethnic and religious backgrounds, lifestyles, and ways of thinking. There are sometimes problems in such a diverse environment, yet the people I met in Italy had one thing in common. They were all true to themselves. For that very reason, they respected each other and lived together in harmony. There is neither a single standard nor outsiders when everyone accepts that everyone is different. Nationality and ethnicity are important, but they are just a small part of your identity. The first thing that I learned when I stepped out from Japan was to accept the diversity of my fellow human beings. That lesson has become part of who I am. There is no one else in the world like you. You can enjoy life to the fullest with what you were born with. Don't let others limit your possibilities. There are an infinite number of paths you can take, and the entire world is your stage. Once you realize that, you will attain true freedom. The end. There's a stop button.